Welcome back. This week, we're seeing red. And remember, I'm not mad, I'm sad. So I know in this day and age, there's less and less film stocks out there, but that doesn't mean that there still isn't anything new out there to try. One such film that I haven't tried was Lomography's Redscale film. I've never shot Redscale film before, and I was interested to see if this could work for my overall look and style that I have. As well, my knowledge on this kind of look is pretty slim. I don't actually quite know anything about it. So with that being said, I grabbed my Nikon F2 and ran off to Seabeck, Washington. Lomography's Redscale film is a versatile ISO film, so it's kind of like pick your own adventure. With that being said, I've read up that the higher the ISO is on this film, the more red you'd get out of it. So if you had set your film stock to 50, you get kind of more of this like dingy classic look, but if you set it up higher to 200, you're going to get that really rich red tones. I chose ISO 125 because I thought it'd be a good kind of in between, but still holding on to that red look, and I think this was a good choice. After all, it was a bright summer's day. Also, you may have noticed, I have company this week, and no, it's not Clara. Clara was unfortunately occupied, so I brought along my sister Megan.
Who's filming who? Who's filming who?
As for this hike, it's nothing special. It starts off in a parking lot and you kind of work your way through some overgrowth and kind of exit out onto this beach. It's just something simple and fun. As well, this is actually one of the first places I went to when I started shooting film, and was using my old Minolta X370N. I was interested in seeing how these high contrast scenes would play out, especially with the Redscale film. Actually, I was interested in seeing how everything would turn out. After all, we're in an uncharted territory right now.
I don't know which direction we go in.
So a few photos down, all I have to say is, yeah, they're red. Well, that's not entirely true. I was actually retaining some greens, yellows, and blues, but I don't know if that's from how I shot it or how I scanned it. Again, I'm not too sure how any of this works. I'm not too sure how anything works. Another thing I noticed, just like when shooting black and white film, or just photography in general, busy compositions come out looking overwhelming and distracting. I feel like every time I go out and shoot in the woods, I always take the same kind of photo. I don't know why I'm trying to make this work, because it doesn't. I did actually get quite lucky though, and I made a reasonable purchase.
Only 20% down. I finally purchased my first home.
From my new home, we made our way down to the beach. That's right, this hovel has beachfront real estate. I've also realized that landscapes are kind of my safe space, and I don't really tend to stray away from them. So I feel most comfortable shooting. It's kind of why I really like to shoot too, which isn't a bad thing. With that being said though, I've been working on doing some more close-up photography work. I've been interested in kind of growing my style and kind of switching things up. These pictures kind of work as good texture images and kind of give you a little bit more in-depth look of the areas I'm at. I don't think these close-up shots are my best work, but I think it's something I need to keep exploring. There's so much out there, and just to do the horizon after time and time again, I think could get maybe a little stale. So to maybe bring the viewer into basically the surroundings that I'm kind of working in, I think that could be a nice little break, especially if I'm thinking about ever printing my work and making a book.
Warm.
So alright, this photo might be my favorite off the roll. I love the deep, dark, contrasty silhouettes in the foreground, stretching all the way back to the lively background. The only thing I would actually change about this photo is I wish I had more interesting background. Again, the foreground with the deep, dark silhouettes is working really well for me. I just think the background's not that interesting. However, maybe it's just the foreground that's the focal point, and that's all you need. I don't know. Walking back to the car though, I began to be a little more selective, while also hitting a stride. I was kind of getting into the groove of things. I was really kind of looking for the light sources, kind of singling things out, trying to find those little pockets of light coming through the trees, as well as using different compositions and getting underneath some stuff and just kind of really playing with the foreground, background, and just lighting in general. Honestly, I think these photos came out looking way better than the stuff I took down at the beach. So me and Megan finished up our hike, and I had a couple shots left on the camera before sending it off to the lab. I didn't really have a set direction on these photos. I was kind of thinking about experimenting with them and just kind of doing some test shots for myself, see what I could use them for, but instead I ended up finishing up the roll when I was running some errands down in Tacoma. Funny enough, I really enjoyed these images and they're contenders for my favorite photos off the entire roll. These photos remind me of when I lived in California and the skies were on fire because everything was burning to a crisp and the air was actually probably safer to breathe out of an exhaust pipe. However grim that analogy was, it kind of did make me miss California. Just a little bit. Not a lot. That being said though, I could see myself doing a whole project with Lomography Rescale down there and kind of made me want to go pack up everything and run down there and just shoot some Redscale film just around LA. I already think I have a few good compositions in my head that I think could look really cool. So Lomo Redscale, would I shoot it again? Other than for a particular project? I don't know. Unfortunately, we don't get many bright and clear days here in the Northwest. So with that being said, it kind of feels like you should be shooting color film in these times of where you can actually get the sunlight and get those beautiful colors. And with Redscale, you're kind of crushing that down to 2 to 3 colors. Mostly red. That being said though, I think this film might be better suited for the winter months. With those dull, dreary gray days that occupy multiple months up here, it's pretty hard to go out and shoot in general, but also that flat light isn't really that dynamic and doesn't make for that great of photos sometimes, I feel. With that being said though, I think Redscale could kind of turn those dreary flat light days into kind of something that's might be beautiful. It can possibly offer a saving grace for color film in the winter months, especially when it's just miserable out. Again, I have no knowledge backing this up or proof either, so I'm probably gonna buy some more Lomo Redscale, but not for a few months. And I think I'll test it out in medium format on a pretty miserable looking day, so look forward to that. So when looking back and reflecting on my first roll of Lomo Redscale, all I can think about is how I really wish I didn't drop my Nikon F2. I don't think I need to say anything else.